If anybody in the world asks you what the fuck are messy space buns, just point to what I have going on in my head right now. Uh, I really, I tried, guys. I really did. I promise I did. I always put my hair in like space buns when I go work out, and I have been working out a lot more recently. I've been going to Pilates and yoga. I've been using ClassPass again, not a promotion to them. I feel like I'm making it worse. Not a promotion to them, but just saying like that is what I'm using currently. I'm glad that you guys can't see the back of this. Also, I'm having winter freaking acne going on. So it's not been fun. I'm not gonna lie. It's not been fun. Like watching Traitors. It hasn't been fun like watching Traitors. I'm so over the show. I'm so over having to watch men be men. I'm over it. Like I I'm so over the fact that women are so loyal. Women are so loyal. Know what? No. We're going to let's play our tune and then we'll get into it. Quick pause, because if you love dark stories that don't flinch, Olympic War isn't a soft love story. It's violent, it's chosen, and it costs everything. Through war, betrayal, and survival, Moonstone fights for devotion that refuses to die. This is a Black, multicultural dystopian series about power, sacrifice, and what rises from the ashes. Olympic War and Phoenix War. Read them wherever books are sold. Hey, Unbothered fans. Welcome back to another episode of Basically Unbothered Recapped. Mm, let's get through our openings. I watched another episode of Traitors. Didn't want to, but I committed to this. And let me tell you how hard it is not to pivot to Bridgerton right now. It's so hard to just be like, let's keep this going. Let's go on and not be like, let's skip this. Let's go to Bridgerton. There's no more point in wasting our time here, because that's exactly how I feel. There's no more point in wasting our time here. And every single episode feels so triggering to me as a woman, as a Black woman, all of it. I'm not here for it. I'm not a fan of it. I don't like it. If I could unsubscribe to this mess, I probably would. But I'm stuck here because I promise you guys. Um, what else? Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've been going through it as I normally am. I do have more information to give to you guys later on, hopefully. I am happy because Wednesday's episode of Basically Unbothered is doing really, really well. I have reached 11,000 views on TikTok for one of my clips. I've reached over 1,000 likes on TikTok for one of my clips. And I and I said what I said. So a lot of people are coming for me for saying that I don't date Black men. And the irony is that a lot of Black men are attacking me and coming at me in this video when all they're doing is proving my point. It's hostile because you felt attacked. Instead of just minding your own damn business, what you did was attack me. And I never attacked you. I never said, you're bad. But they keep calling me, I'm bad. I've been called lesbian several times, which is cute. It's what a lot of men love to do when they're upset that women don't want them or that women have opinions that don't agree with theirs. They automatically think that women just don't want to date men. And that's different. I don't always like men, hence this episode of Traitors, but I definitely want to date men. I think women are beautiful. I think that women are attractive, and I've had my dalliances, but I do not want to be in a relationship with women. I've said many times I want to be in a relationship with two men. Absolutely sure do. But they don't understand that attacking me doesn't hurt my guys. I've been bullied. I've literally been bullied my entire life. And I'm not talking like it stopped in high school. I've been bullied my childhood, my adulthood. Do you think that you calling me bucktooth is going to be the thing that hurts my feeling, or is the thing that proves your point? Because in reality, what it does is it proves my point. It proves my point that is hostile. When you go in a dating setting with a guy and you don't like him, you don't want to go on a second date, there's never an amicable split. There's never like a, oh, okay. There's always a situation where they're like, well, F you, you're terrible. I didn't want you anyways. Like there's a situation going on that Black men have where they are targeting Black women and they are being cruel, being intentionally mean, getting off on being hostile. And it makes all Black men look bad. And you would think that if someone is doing something that makes all of you guys look bad, you would want to knock that shit in the bud. You would want to be, no, we don't tolerate this behavior. But what happens is that y'all have the backs of them, even though they're wrong. And honestly, that's your choice. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But then you can't complain. You can't get mad when someone calls it out when you are helping that behavior pass on. If you want to stop being associated with things, call out the people who are associating you with it. It's so simple. If there are so many dangerous rhetorics being spread around by Black men every day, and no one is doing anything about it. I said what I said. But if you want to keep egging me on, if you want to keep pushing buttons that I don't have, then please do. Because what you're doing is just helping a Black woman succeed. All you're doing is cranking my engagement up. Like, you know what? Let's check this. Let's go on TikTok right now just to prove my point. TikTok. We're going to log into Basically Unbothered. Basically Unbothered has 7 captions, 79 likes, and 4 new followers. The video in discussion has reached 1,306 likes, 320 comments, 212 saves. So all you're doing for me is helping me promote my business while making yourself look like a fool. Thank you. And while we're talking about calling people out, let's call out Nicki Minaj. I don't make a statement about politics. I don't make a statement about politics for several reasons. And it's not because I'm trying to keep my page neutral. I clearly don't give a fuck about that. It's simply that it invites a level of hostility that I have learned that I can't take. When we were in 2020 and Black Lives Matter was growing and there were a lot of protests, I didn't protest because I have anxiety. I have severe anxiety. My medication actually just got upped. I went to a concert on Monday and I couldn't even be around that group of people. So being around a large group of people is not good for my mental well-being. I shared my thoughts on social media. And when I shared my thoughts on social media, I got threats to myself. I got threats to my family. It became really hostile. And people who I thought were my friends ended up proving that they weren't, in fact, my friends. That was really hard for me. And having to deal with that and defend myself as a Black woman against a world that was supposed to be here to protect me against a group of people who said that they would have my back was disheartening. And not being able to say what I want to say because of certain affiliations. I don't fucking know. Certain things that I have going on hurts. So there's a lot of things that I can't say. There's a lot of things that I don't touch on. And there's a lot of things for the safety of my mentality and my mental space, which I work every single day on, I don't talk about. It's not safe for me. It's not safe for my environment. And my number one goal is to always protect myself and my mental state. I lost all of it last year. I literally lost all of it. I lost my house. I lost the dog. I lost my best friend. I lost people who mean so much to me on the helm of me losing my best friend. The thing that I have right now is protecting my mental health. And I'm going to keep that 100. I'm always going to do that. That's always going to be a value of mine. That being said, what is happening right now in our country, I definitely do not condone. I am a person who doesn't believe in violence and doesn't believe in war. And I made certain choices when I was a little bit younger to fight for my life, to fight for my ability to have food and a place to stay. And I don't regret those choices, but I have never changed my stance on what I believe. I have very firm stances on what I believe is and is not okay. And the people who know me know exactly what those are. And some of those things I keep private. Some of those things certain parts of my life I keep to myself. And sometimes I'll share when I feel comfortable sharing, but what is happening right now in our country, what we are accepting right now in our country is not okay. And I've spoken up about this to groups of friends about where this is heading and where this is leading. And it is leading into a very dangerous place. And it saddens me. And I don't have the emotional capacity or the emotional bandwidth to even fully dive into this. But it saddens me to see what is happening to innocent people every day now. It saddens me to think that we could have had a semi-normal existence. And right now we have an existence that, quite frankly, I write about in my dystopian books. Right now we live in a society that I never thought that we would get to. And seeing the world choose hate is something that I do not agree with. And whether you agree with me or not for calling things as I see them, know that I'm never calling something out to be malicious and to just say a hot take. I'm calling it out because I truly believe that it is a problem in our society. And I truly believe that it needs to be fixed. I spend my life and my business helping to promote healing and self love and self care and holistic living in people. I spend my life trying to help people grow and become better. And to see where humanity is right now is the most disheartening thing. And I can't go down that rabbit hole. And while I'm talking about that, I want to segue into watching another Black woman betray her gender, betray her ethnicity, betray her race for white proximity. And I want to be clear, not all white people are bad. Like, I truly mean that. I have so many friends of many different colors, and I don't think that the color of their skin makes them inherently bad. I do think that when you have created a system where one group of people can benefit and they have a fear that if that system is dismantled, they no longer will be able to benefit from it, it creates a problem. And sadly, in our country, that one group of people are white people. And what people are trying to do, which is really similar, honestly, to Traitors, is what people are trying to do is they're trying to get as close to that white power that and be as close to it as they can get. And a lot of people are doing it for safety and security. And although I feel like in some of those ways we can't fault them for that, in other ways we can. It's one thing to not come out and speak up and say for how you feel about things for wanting to be safe. It's another thing entirely for you to jump sides and join forces. I have been saying that Nicki Minaj is not a good at all. I've been saying it for so many long. I've been saying it since Anaconda came out and she made the line fuck skinny bitches. And it was such an ironic statement because some of you may not know, but Nicki Minaj started off as a rapper. I don't want to use the term dyke because I don't think that's fair, but she was a little bit more boyish in her clothes and in her mannerisms and in her rapping. Then Lil Wayne comes around and she changes everything about her. So she goes from being a very small girl, she gets all of these surgeries, she does all of these things to her body to create this image. And then she turns around and banishes the image of who she really was, which is a clear sign of something is really going on with you, ma'am. And I have been very vocal about it for a really long time about how I don't like Nicki Minaj. I think that she was bad for female rappers. I think she was bad for women rapping in general. I think she created a system where rappers who don't assimilate, female rappers who don't assimilate into this body type, don't have as much success. If you pay attention to some of the top, not all of them, but some of the top female rappers, Nicki Minaj was definitely up there, Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, you'll pay attention to one thing that you will notice that they all share. I'm not gonna call it out, but y'all know exactly what I'm saying. And so her jumping ship and turning herself into a monster doesn't shock me. She was always the person that was going to do what she had to do to survive, no matter who it hurt, no matter who it betrayed, no matter who it let down. And I am sorry to Nicki Minaj fans who are being let down by her right now. And it goes into the larger thing about, liking somebody, being a part of a fandom is one thing, but when when you're really not able to get a feel on who they are as a person, that's a general sign that they maybe one don't know themselves or are keeping it really close to themselves because that's not what they want you to know. That there's a lot of secret hidden agendas. And what we're seeing right now is that Nicki Minaj's secret hidden agenda is just coming up. She's being who she always was. And some people can see it and I'm not saying that I'm perfect and I can see everything, but I am an empath. And I do pay attention to those things. And when I get an icky feeling from someone, I honor it. I trust my intuition. And I would rather my intuition be wrong and I stayed safe than anything else. And oftentimes it takes a long time for my intuition to be right or for people to see my intuition right. And right now it's coming true. And it's sad. I mean, I've never really been a big fan of Nicki Minaj songs. I like her in other people's music, and that's something that I said. And that's something that I also find interesting. I didn't like her music. I liked her in other people's songs. But watching her betray us, and I want to say us because she betrayed us, especially us as Black women, is disheartening, and I want to give her up. We Black women give her up. You guys can have her. We do not want her anymore. Take her. Sliding off of that, because I don't want to get too much into that. Like I said, I try to stay away from all of that, but watch what people do. And these next couple of things that are going on, watch what people do and watch what people say and watch how people jump ship, not because of what they truly believe, but because they think that they are going to do the thing that is safe for them. Hopping off of this and going into another kind of pop culture thing, we have recently been seeing an uptick and TikTok romances, relationships ending. We talked about this on Wednesday's episode with Tremana White, and she was talking about how when you make your relationship your content, that is when everything really truly starts to fall apart. And honestly, I truly believe that, because what we've seen in the first couple of weeks of the year is that Mario and Bren have broken up. And if you were to ask anybody, they'd be like, oh yeah, they're such a great couple. They started a podcast together. Oh, let me tell you, how hard is it to start a podcast with someone else and then everything go left and you have to figure out what to do next? It's not easy. And I don't know if they were sponsored. I don't know if there was someone producing that, but they're going to have to figure something out, because if they're under a contract, they have to honor that contract. But we also saw the Chrissy and Desmond Scott drama, and that shit. Let me sip some tea. If that shit doesn't prove my point, I truly don't know what will. I truly don't know what will, guys. We see Desmond Scott get caught for cheating on his wife, comes out and says, I've been wanting separation and she wouldn't give me separation, making it her fault. If that were, and I want to be clear, if that was true, if you were locked in this thing, then the best thing you could have done was remove yourself from the situation, and make a statement. What he did instead, and what I fear might have happened, is that he found another girl and then wanted separation. But what he did was he cheated on his wife and his family. And now the person he cheated with is pregnant. Saying those words hurts me. Saying those words hurts me to my core, because I said I'm an empath. So I can almost feel, not in a disconnected way, but still I can almost feel what it would feel like to be in love with someone and to hope that you can make it work, And then not only do you find out that they're cheating on you, but then you also find out that they are having a baby and now they're parading it on social media. And there's not a concern for your children. There's not a concern for what your children will see. There's not a concern for what your kids will feel. And that's the scariest part for me is that the amount of pain that she's going to experience just isn't fair. And I offer love and support for her. But the amount of pain that she will feel for what her children will have to go through now is the truly most unfair thing. And the worst part is that she'll end up, he'll end up in a couple of years or a couple of months or whatever, regretting the decision. And we'll see him make a post and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I broke up my family and I should have never did that. We're going to see it because when you move like this, there's always a regret that comes after it. There's always a regret that comes after it. And my biggest fear in relationships is not just trusting someone, but them having the possibility to do something like this. And one of the things that has made me mad in the breakups that I've had is how close they became to my family and how they could have done that to the people that I let into our mutual lives. And like I think about things like that. Like, if I were to have kids with someone, do they care as much about this family as I do? And, what we learn is they don't. What we learn is they absolutely don't. And it's something that sadly we see all the time. And there's nothing that we can do about it. We're just stuck here. And it's something that we see time and time and time again. And it's just, I'll never understand it. I'll never understand it. We're going to get off of this because it's been a heavy week for me personally. And I don't want to stay in these heavy things. Recaps. I did finish a book. I did record the podcast, Indie Ink podcast, and it was covering that book. That book was The Girl from the Strand by Dennis M. Brown. Um, I'm still working on The Anatomy of Evil. My book club just picked their book and we are reading The Last Gilmore Girl. I've started it. How do I feel about it? It's okay. The first chapter I wasn't really that into. I don't know why, it just wasn't. But I'm kind of like a fourth through the book now and I'm vibing with it. It's interesting. It's like a short read. 6 hours, I think, on Audible. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, this will be, easy to get to and from work and get to and from the office with. I'm vibing with it. I love memoirs. I love getting to learn all of the like secret things that went on to people's lives or how they, got to this point. I find them very inspirational to me, because I aspire one day to write a memoir and to showcase all of these difficult periods and difficult things that I've had go on in my life and show how you can have all those things happen and it'll all work out in the end, Like just because you suffer doesn't mean that your life will be suffering. We all have suffering to do in our life, but that doesn't mean that we can't reach our goals. And sometimes I feel like my goals aren't just my goals, but they're the goals of so many people who are out there who are trying, who are working really hard to make it, to make something out of themselves, to follow their dreams, to not conform. And so reading this memoir has been pretty good. I know that Bridgerton is out. Guys, January is rough, okay? Because Bridgerton is out. Emily in Paris is out. There's so many things that are coming out in January, and I'm stuck covering the Traitors. It sucks. Trust me. But I promise that once the Traitors part ends, I'm going to be able to move over and onto these other things and get into them. This is just taking a little bit of my time, and recovering from something that's happened to me in the last week is also just taking a lot of my time. And I want to give myself in the space to honor that. I am still reading physical books. I'm still reading, um, the second book of Practical Magic. I'm not really feeling it right now though. So I might switch over to something else. I have Skylark to read. I have a couple other things, but I think that it's just a slow build and that it'll get better the more I get into it. And reading is hard for me when I get really depressed. And I know that. And so sometimes I give myself the space and the grace to work through that. Okay. All right. Anything else? I said I was gonna watch Hillary Duff and I didn't. I'm sorry. I'm sad. Give me give me the benefit of the doubt because I'm sad. It's on my list. I talked about it on the podcast. I did. It's on my list. It's on my list. It's just hard. Getting into new things is hard for me when my depression is acting up. But and I don't know if anybody else feels that way. Getting into new things is hard for me. I'm on the last season of Private Practice, and I will talk about that getting into it a little bit on it. I like I said last time, I love Private Practice. It's a very good show. Now I have to figure out what I'm gonna binge afterwards because I need a binge show. I need a show that just gives me comfort and that I know what's gonna happen. So when my anxiety starts to flare up and everything starts to happen, I know that something's gonna be okay. Sue me. But if you guys have a suggestion of shows that I should binge next that are kind of a little bit older, some things that people have loved for a long time, let me know. Hopefully you'll suggest something that I've already watched because that'd be great. But mm-mm-mm. Let's get into Traitors. All right, Unbothered fam, let's talk taxes for a second because I am very particular about one thing. I like to get my taxes done early and out of the way so I can be stress free for the rest of the year. No last minute panic, no scrambling, no vibes being ruined. That's why I want to put my unbothered fans onto SSB Legacy Tax Services, LLC. Samantha is a small business tax professional whose whole focus is getting you the maximum refund while making the process clear and easy. She also offers cash advances up to $7,500, $75 referral bonuses, and actually takes the time to educate you so you know what's happening with your money. And because we are all unbothered together, I'm going to give you an in. If you text unbothered to 586-345-1055, you will receive $50 off your tax prep fees. Early, easy, stress free, just how we like it. Indie authors are out here building worlds, breaking rules, and telling stories you won't find on the bestsellers list. And not only can indie authors do it just as good as published authors, but they can often do it better. On Indie Ink Podcast, we interview indie authors every month about their books, their process, and what keeps them going when no one's watching.
One of the best pieces of advice I received, once you start getting negative reviews, it means that your book is reaching outside of your target audience. And when she said that, I thought that was such a wonderful way to look at it.
Jean-Paul Sartre, he's French, with No Exit says that hell is other people. Like, to be in hell is to be like with other people. The thesis of this book, or like what I thought about when I thought about like what would be like the ultimate hell for me personally.
If you love stories behind the stories, this podcast is for you. Check out Indie Ink Podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. All right. Can I just say before we start this, that banquet was the most underwhelming, anticlimactic thing ever. It made it seem like it was going to encompass the entire episode. There was going to be so many twists and turns, and it was truly just boring. Not going to lie, super, super boring. But we do have our banquet best dressed because, of course, we have to. All right, our banquet's best dressed is Candace. Yes, Candace. I loved her outfit. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. Jam Jam. It was very simple. It was very like white and elegant, and I was feeling it. Mora with the hat to the side. The funny thing is, her fits I either hate or love. Sometimes they're a little weird, like her wigs or whatever she's wearing isn't the vibe, but this was absolutely the vibe. Steven was just sliding in there with a low key great, I think it was like bejeweled kind of wow, suit jacket sleeves, and I was very here for it. Lisa, gosh, Lisa motherfucking Rinna, okay? Lisa motherfucking Rinna. And Mark's outfit was very, very understated. I hated Colton's outfit. And not because I hate Colton, but it just seemed like, I don't know. And I don't want to say this and people get mad at me because I'm not coming for a certain community of people. I've expressed that I am in support of the community, and I don't like Colton because I think that he is damaging for the community that I am a part of. By the way, I am a Black queer woman. He seems to turn on and off the gay, and I say that because being gay doesn't have some like tonnage, right? Gay men don't all think, speak, sound the same way, look the same way. They are a rainbow of people. They look different, sound different, talk different, like different things, the whole nine. But at that, he's never kind of expressed that kind of energy before. And all of a sudden he was leaning into it, and it just didn't sit right with me. He was just trying too hard. He really just was trying too hard. And I think he feels like he wants to get the gay audience on his side. And in reality, the gay audience is not going. They're going to Kristen. They're going to Jam Jam. They're not. They're not going for you at all. Just Colton, to be clear. Also, Rob and his overalls. I love when you have a thing that makes you, Ariana Grande and her ponytail. I hate these overalls. Everybody loves these things. Everybody hypes Rob up to be like he's this most attractive thing. And they did it on Love Island too. And his personality grossed me out then, and his personality is starting to gross me out now. And these overalls are just another reason why I'm just like, I'm over it. But I will say, finally, maybe this is my problem, guys. Right before people get ready to go, I love them. I don't know what it is. Right before people get ready to go, I love them. Being able to learn that Jam Jam was Puerto Rican, I was like, okay, you got me, I'm back. For those who don't know, my family is from St. Thomas. My mom's side of my family is from St. Thomas. And we are part Santo Dominican and we are part Puerto Rican. And I'm always all here for them. And from being a part of the USVI, I am a US citizen, so don't even start. I was born and raised here, but I spent a significant amount of time in the USVI with my grandparents and my aunts and everybody else that lived on island. Being a part of that island community is just like a thing. And Puerto Rico is so close to St. Thomas, where my mom's born and raised. So close. Rooting for the USVI also feels like rooting for Puerto Rico. There are brothers and sisters. Jam Jam, I was feeling you. All right. Alan enters and they're like scanning, and they're scanning over the food. And this is just like this is a film me. I noticed that most of the food isn't even eaten, and it looks so well put together. And maybe they're all just really good at eating, but let me tell you, when I've ever, if I take a picture of my plate in the middle of me eating, it looks like it looks like I was eating. And a lot of theirs didn't look like they were eating, just kind of cutting their food. So I wonder if they were truly eating or what was going on. But we get the legend of the Black dinner and the dessert, and before the dessert, the demise, and then what tries to be a very theatrical, and one of you will not to make it to the end. Just felt really whatever. Oh, also, because what's going on is that I totally forgot to talk about this part. Well, also what's going on is that Lisa has the brooch and she made her move. And then the three people she was looking at was Jam Jam, Kristen, and Natalie. And she made her move. And I thought it was personally flawless. Nobody noticed it was happening, but they're all trying to figure out who's cursed because Alan admits that there is a curse and he says there's hope. He brings out a potion that is an antidote, and two people get to take the antidotes. And if the person who was cursed takes an antidote, they are saved. Nothing happens to people if they drink the antidote and they weren't cursed. So then they start debating about who's cursed, what happened. They discuss who did it. It involves food. It involves tarot cards. And Natalie, Kristen, and Tara are the three people who are duking it out, right? Duking it out. Jam Jam kind of says on the side, oh my gosh, Lisa kissed me on the cheek. And that's the thing you think of. You don't think about the fact that you just put this bright red jewel back on her thing. You think about the fact she kissed you on your cheek. which she probably wasn't really, that's the crazy part. She, one, probably didn't actually really kiss you on your cheek, and she was air kissing everybody. But these people just go for the like stupidest things. They're the worst faithfuls. They're the worst faithful because they pay it. I mean, I'm not, again, he wasn't wrong. Lisa is a traitor, but the thing that they clue into is stupid. It's stupid. It, like, there's no logic to this. This is just what they do. And it is insane and it is crazy to me. But eventually they kind of duke it out. Kristen says she's going to take hers. Natalie and Tara are fighting over it. It really wasn't as bad as they made it seem in the previews. You thought you were going to get a really big fight, and it was kind of just a disagreement. Natalie takes it. Jam gets pulled away, yells Lisa's name at the end. Oh my gosh, it's Lisa, it's Lisa. And everybody's like, so the next day comes and a new plan is to save Lisa. Or as it should be. But the problem is these hoes ain't loyal. These men aren't loyal. Rob is not loyal. So they sit down and they discuss this. And Rob is like, I'm so onto Colton. I'm on Colton's side. We're so good. Blah, 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 blah. It upsets me. It upsets me just the white male audacity, the caucasity, the absolute caucasity that faithfuls are supposed to be faithful to faithfuls and traitors are supposed to be faithful to traitors. The rule of the game. And I understand that at a certain point there's backstabbing, which is stupid to me. Because if you can't trust the people that you're murdering with, who can you trust? Is like my personal thing. And you guys should have each other's backs. And Rob starts to show that it's clear that he doesn't have Lisa's back. And where does this feel weirdly reminiscent of Love Island? Rob, I don't know what y'all think Rob is so attractive, but let me tell y'all how Rob can't stay in a relationship. And that's a sign. That's a sign. And before someone says that's a sign about you too, you're right. Which is why I'm not in a relationship right now. Right now I'm working on myself. But I did love when Lisa said, I did all the work like all the women do. And that's true. Rob is just sitting back and playing while all these women are really working. And he's just like, okay. And the fact that he has more of an alliance to Colton than anyone else is just concerning to me. It's just concerning to me. Colton is probably one of the worst. I pay attention to who people align themselves with. Colton is probably one of the worst people I've seen on TV on like reality TV in a long time. Granted, I don't watch a lot of reality TV, but he's up there. And the fact that Rob's big alliance is with him is very telling. I don't care how attractive y'all think this man is. Don't go for it. Don't drink the poison. But it's funny because even in then, Rob shuts down because Rob could never handle a woman upset with him. Let's go back to Leah, Queen Leah, going off on him and him just being like, oh, she was just so upsetting and she was yelling. Well, what did you expect? We're going to move on. Okay. All right. And Colton comes in because we're all at breakfast and the three of them got to talk first and other people come in. Colton comes in and I'm so disgusted. Every time he's on my screen, I'm literally I truly mean that. I'm disgusted. He always has this smug and it just gives me like a shot of bad energy straight through my chest. I really want to stop watching him I really, really want to stop watching him on my screen. And then he's such a coward because what he says is, remember, episode before, I've been loud, I'ma stay loud. Now he's like, oh, well, actually, I'm gonna step back and play this differently. He's such a coward. When he learns that him being loud is bad for him, then all of a sudden he wants to change up his personality, but he's trying to make it like his personality is always, I'm the one, I'm gonna be gunning for you guys. Coward. I hate cowardly men. And then you start worrying about, is this Lisa's last night? But then the heat starts to go on to Natalie, and people are starting to be like, oh, well, Natalie was fighting really hard to get that. And it just seemed really wrong and everything. And she's sitting down, she's talking to Tara, she's talking to Lisa, and she said, when we murdered, instead of when we banished. Those slip ups be killing people. And it's going. In the other room, though, Rob is sitting down having a conversation, and he just starts talking about how his new strategy is Lisa. to save his own self. What you can bet that certain people are going to do, no matter what at the end of the day, is to drown the whole earth to save themselves. That is a person you don't trust. And I don't mean in the confines of this game. I mean literally in general, do not trust them. When people start betraying the people that they're supposed to be loyal to for no given reason other than they can't think of, he's not smart enough to come up with a better solution than this, and he wants to protect his loyalty to a white man instead of protecting the two women that he's. Men claim they want to be protectors, but every time they're in a position to protect, what do? Just saying. All right, getting into this. Rob is not faithful. It's a strategy, and I hate it. We get into the game. The game is that they have to race to this top of the hill, and they have to find gold along the way. They have gold in their bags already. And along the way, as they go up here, they have to bring it up. I can't remember how many seconds it was. But the kind of like twist was that the 6 players with the most gold will fight for a dagger, and the dagger gets 2 votes to get someone out. I made a statement about men in power because all of the men are going for this. And it's just like, whatever, go ahead, bash each other's in it. They come to a part along the way where they have to throw gold to hit urns. Now, Rob is amazing. Rob is amazing at throwing gold to hit urns. And Colton, the football star, is terrible. He's so athletic. He's so great. Rob is better than him. That gave me a little chuckle. Also, fun fact, by the way, I asked my dad about Colton. Because my dad loves football. I love football too, but my dad's way more into it than I am. And he couldn't remember him on a single NFL team. So we looked it up, and lo and behold, he never actually played a single NFL game. And for his career that lasted about a year, he was just bounced around on practice teams and dropped, usually within a couple of days. Sometimes he stayed a month or so and then was dropped and moved on to another practice team. Colton never actually really truly played in the NFL. Let's leave that there. All right. It was so so we get back up the hill, and we're at the end, and people start putting their gold into bins. And you can put your gold into your bin, or you can put it into your other people's bins. And what people started realizing, Kristen first, was that they didn't have enough to keep themselves going. So they were going to put it in people's bins that they wanted to be one of the 6. And Kristen was the first. And Lisa put hers in Steven's, and that was really sweet and kind of her. And Steven was really honest about that. And then here we go again with Rob throwing Lisa under the butt. Like, it's one thing to be like, I want to keep my distance from this because I don't want to seem like. And there's another thing to lean forward into it. And the truth is that if Rob wasn't so vocal, and we'll get to that at the round table, if Rob wasn't so vocal, Lisa probably would have stayed and it would never been a problem. But he made it his job to get her out. So the 6 people who end up fighting over the dagger are Rob, Colton, Matt, Derek, and Steven. Rob has the most gold, so they're playing a game. All the other characters but Rob have like stone tablets. And one of the stone tablets has the dagger on it. And Rob has to question everybody and whoever has the dagger to see who has the dagger on it. He asks everybody these questions. He's like, I'm going to start a baseline because I'm so smart. No, that's just what fucking people do when they do a lie detector test. You're not smart. You're just following the steps that everybody does when they're trying to determine if you're lying or not. But he does pick the right person. It was Natalie, but I thought it was Natalie too. I just think that she gave it away a little bit, I think. And the most disgusting part is the nod that him and Colton are giving each other. And this is the worst duo. Get me out of the show. Get me out of the show. I wanted out of the show. I had a conversation about being out of the show, and people were just like, just keep holding on. And I'm like, I don't want to. I want out. Rob wins. Rob gets a dagger. They all decide that they're not going to let anybody know who actually won the dagger, to keep it a secret. Cool. First thing to note, Candace's outfit. Candace's outfit slayed. Candace's outfit was amazing. I love Candace's outfit. Where can we get Candace's outfit? Some of her outfits just don't hit for me. This one, this like crushed velvet red thing with the sheer black stockings and the line that's going down on the back of her legs. I just loved everything about it. And then I made a note about, you know what? White men are great traders. And I just want you guys to remember from Pocahontas, we can't trust these white men. All right, cool, great. Rob at this point is sickening me. And I really can't understand him, because when everyone's just going for Natalie, He could let that's the problem. The problem is he could let everybody go for Natalie, but he doesn't. He really truly wants to get Lisa, and he even says it. I want Lisa out. I want her to go because all the suspicion would be off of me. Although none of the suspicion is on him at all. Nowhere near even close, not even likely. The suspicion isn't on him at all. And the only reason why the suspicion is on Lisa is because Lisa had to do the hard work. And you know what? That's what we get. Next time you let a man do it. Lisa took it on for the entire group. And because of that, Rob stabbed her in the back. Cool, great, whatever. They all sit around and vote. And Rob starts to actively come for Lisa. So now it's not even as passive as writing her name down. It's active. And at this point, it's just like, dude, what the fuck? Dude, what the fuck? And you know what? You guys are going to still love him. So it doesn't even matter. But Natalie tries to defend herself. Everybody's like, why is Jam Jam saying Lisa's name? And Lisa's like, I don't know. And honestly, true. He's off the mark. He's completely off the mark. She air kissed and like the fact that they're focusing on this, whatever. Anyways, they vote Lisa off. I skipped the part when they start saying things. I don't really need to see it. I don't really need to know. It's so much anxiety for me, honestly, and it just enrages me that there's no point. And then watching Colton be happy about that takedown is great. Like him saying, I've always been afraid of housewives and I'm so glad I could take down a housewife. That's misogyny, dear. That is misogyny. You're happy that you took down a woman. That is misogyny. Okay, great. Love that for us. Again, get Colton off my screen. He's a puppet master. Rob signing his grave because you know what? Look, I love Candace. I may have said I think I've been team Candace and I think that she's been playing this game smart. She's one of the only women of color left. So, okay. Her having a conversation and being like, you know what's interesting? Rob was going so hard for Lisa. Yeah. And him and Colton are just teaming up right now and they're making this alliance is signing. He's like, all right, just put me in my grave. Because what he thought he was, and this is why loyalty counts. What he thought was him trying to make it look like he was a faithful is going to end up making him look like he was a traitor. And everybody was already on Colton's head. And you're talking about, I don't want to align myself with Lisa, when everyone is still on Colton's head. And everybody's getting tired of Colton being there. So your point was mute. At the end of the day, the last scene that we get is Rob and Candace meeting up in the whatever turrets, that's what it's called. And Rob clearly being afraid to face his own actions. Like if you're going to do it and own up to it. And you know what? That was the thing that Rob did on Love Island. Rob would do some fuck shit and then try to play cute guy and be like, I don't know what I did. I don't know why she's so mad. Yo, you play with a girl's feelings. That's why she's mad. And once again, not loyal. I'm so happy that we're getting so close to the end of this, guys. I'm so happy. I'm so over this. I'm so over having to watch the reality of our lives play out on reality TV. Guys, reality TV was never supposed to remind us of our lives. It was supposed to remind us of other people's lives. It was never supposed to be a microcosm of what we're going through right now. But it is. And I want it to end. I truly would not recommend. I love murder mysteries. I really do. I would not recommend this show to anybody And on that note, guess we have to suffer through another week of this. Thank you guys for listening though. And you'll see me back here on Friday recapping another episode and hopefully other things. Hopefully I can break away out of my depression a little bit and I can give you guys some more content. Thank you all for listening though. Bye-bye.